All right, y'all. So we have memory cards, lights, cameras, microphones, audio board. We have everything all packed, ready to go. Now we're off to Leather Machine Company. Let's go. Hi everyone, my name is Steve Van Plu. Welcome to the Leathercraft Community Podcast Show. This is the very first episode, and I am sitting here and I'm very pleased to introduce you to a man that is known industry-wide, and he has and sells a lot of very particular leather machines. You have seen them, and I'm sure you've used them. I am so honored to be sitting here with Mr. David Spiegel. Thanks for coming on the show, David.
Thanks for having me. Nice to see you again, Steve.
Hey, I love it. I come here every month, I feel like.
And we love it.
Oh, man. I just I love just being here and asking questions and meeting and learning new things every time I come. So
that's great. We love to have you.
Awesome. I just want to dive right on into it. And I just want to ask, how did you get started in the leathercraft industry? And how did you get involved with Leather Machine Co.?
Okay. So my history is, number one, I'm a Canadian from Eastern Canada. My late father imported and wholesaled only, strictly wholesale to dealers, industrial sewing machines. He had the agency, the exclusive agency for Consew, Mitsubishi, Saruba, and a few others. When my late father passed away in 1989, my brother and I bought the company from his estate. We had been working there for about 10 years prior to that. So I really got my teeth wet in industrial sewing machines. That's all I've ever really known. In the late, just around 2009 or so, 2008, my brother decided he wanted to go to China and open up a quality control company. And I decided that we should sell our two companies in Canada, and I wanted to move to the United States because it's warm.
Yeah.
So I interviewed with one of our competitors, Jerry Zonas of Artisan Sewing Supplies, and that's where I met Steve Terrian, my partner. In 2009, Steve and I decided it is time to start our own company. There were a lot of things that we didn't like where we were, and we thought we could improve upon it. So we started the Leather Machine Company in 2009. So I've always known about industrial sewing machines. I live them, eat them, and breathe them. Machines dedicated strictly for leather was relatively new to me, but I've been doing this since 2008 at Artisan and since 2009 with Leather Machine Company. Between myself and my family, we are the majority owners. My other partner is Steve Terrian.
Awesome.
That's how I got involved.
Oh, man. It's you've had quite some time then now, years under your belt here with Leather Machine Co.
I certainly have.
The color of the Cobra lineup is very iconic. We all know that it's brown. You can see it in Instagram videos. You see it on YouTube. Everyone knows, hey, that's a Leather Machine Company machine. Can you tell us the story behind why you guys chose the brown color? Because I'm curious, and I'm sure other people are curious as well.
All right. So when we started off in 2009, we wanted to set ourselves apart from our competition.
Yep.
So we sat down and Steve and I discussed it at length, and there was three things that we wanted to do. Number one was we wanted to have the best quality control machinery out there, period. Second was we want to have the best warranty out there, period. And the third one was we wanted someone to be able to identify our machines from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
And since leather, when people think of leather, they do think of brown leather first.
Yep.
And we decided to go brown. And that's the way it's been ever since.
I love it because in my workshop, all my machines are brown for Leather Machine Company and then the maroon red for Weaver. So everything matches, and it's I like it that way.
Yeah, we have customers who call us and say, okay, I want to buy my fifth machine, but it's got to be brown because it's got to go with all the other ones.
Yeah.
So it's worked out quite well for us.
Yeah, that's it makes sense. So I'm sure you have your machines in all 50 states here.
I do.
There's no doubt about it. Now, can you tell us about, do you guys ship internationally? Are there other places that you've shipped to that are just very unique to this company?
Well, we ship to Canada. We have 2 dealers in Canada. We've shipped a lot to Mexico and South America. Middle East, surprisingly, a lot of shipments going to the Middle East. The UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Israel, UAE. That was where the majority of our machines went to in the Middle East. We have a dealer in Australia, Queensland Sewing Supplies. And we have dealers in Canada, which I mentioned, and we have shipped all over Western Europe, England, France, Germany, certainly Spain, the Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, quite a bit. And if I didn't mention Germany quite a bit as well. And a couple to Russia, as a matter of fact.
So you guys are really all over the map here now. Your machines are literally everywhere. But if someone wanted to come and actually test one of your machines, how do they do that, and where would they go? To see what machine is like best for their projects and their needs?
We attend about 8 shows a year. I can list them, or you can just call the office. Anyone can call the office. We'll tell you where the next one is. That's the best place. We normally bring up 40 to 50 machines, and we normally sell out, in the first day or the first day and a half. But the interesting thing, to answer your question, is people can play with any machine of ours. They can bring their own leather, use our leather, ask questions, practice. So that's really the best way to do it. We do have authorized dealers all throughout the United States. I'm not even going to mention them because I'm going to forget some. But if you ever want a list, or if folks want a list, call us, tell us where you live. We'll tell you who the nearest dealer is.
Wonderful.
And of course, people can call and come in here and play in our showroom all day long.
Yep. So I know you sell more than just sewing machines. You have sewing machines for lightweight all the way up to heavyweight goods. I mean, things that can sew from the thinnest of thin leathers all the way to about like an inch thick. What other machines do you guys have that work with leather? Because I know that there are some cutting machines, but Leather Machine Co. is more than just sewing machines.
Right. Anything to do with leather production. For example, we have a strap cutter. People who are making belts, they could set up their strap cutter. If they're doing 1.5-inch belts, it's a 20-inch machine. They can get 14 belts cut at the same time. It's all variable speed, reversible. You can reverse it out if you're doing fringe. Another machine we have that doesn't sew, but it's used for leather, is our splitter. So, for example, let's take a saddle maker as a very good example. They're using very heavy leather, a lot of skirting leather, could be like 12, 14, 15-ounce leather. And they have a scrap pile that's as big as their house.
Yes.
So our splitter could actually split that leather down into sellable items, key fobs, wallets. I remember when we first came out with the splitter, famous saddle maker Jesse Smith, which I'm sure most people have heard of, he spent days going through his scrap pile and making things. He said it's paid for the splitter in the first 2 weeks. So that's a splitter. We also have skivers. So what a skiver does is it skives or reduces the thickness of the leather only at the edge of it.
Yep.
So if you're going to be sewing 2 pieces together and you don't want that edge to be very thick, you're going to skive it on a skiver, get it thin. So those 2 layers combined will be the equal thickness of 1 layer.
Yep.
So it's not bulky at all. We have hydraulic clickers. There's a lot of people that are making belts or making the same of holsters. They have an order for 100 holsters that are identical. Well, it's kind of a pain to cut those out by hand, but if you're in production, clicker, press the buttons, you can click out 2 at a time, 3 at a time, 5 at a time, 10 at a time. We sell a lot of clickers.
Yeah. And what about burnishers, David? I know that I own one and I use the sandpaper side, but can you tell us a little bit about
Sure.
the burnisher that you have?
Yeah, we have a burnisher. It's an excellent motor. It's made by the Porter Cable people, by the way, so it's a very well-made, well-constructed motor. It's variable speed from very slow to very fast. You don't want to burn your leather when you're burnishing it, but some people like to go slower. Some people like to go faster. It comes with a Coca-Cola wheel. Coca-Cola wheel is the best hardwood to use for burnishing. It's very oily. It comes from Brazil. It's rather pricey, but it comes with our burnisher. And you get 2 sanding discs with the burnisher, a 80 grit and a 120 grit. We also have a 240 grit for sale and a 600 grit, which will give you like a glass finish. So our burnisher is very successful. We sell a lot of it, and people should look into it. It will save a lot. It'll change your life. Instead of doing this with a piece of, whatever people use, fire hose and,
Yeah. They use canvas, a lot of canvas.
well, fire hose on the outside is canvas, but it's rubber on the inside, so it's thick. So it's easier to rub that, but you're going to be rubbing for a very long time. Whereas, 30 seconds on our burnisher and you got the best finish you've ever had.
Yeah. I use it for my strap goods actually. So
there you
go. It works for me.
Yep.
So, the first 2 machines you mentioned, the very first one was the strap cutter and then the splitter. Those are the first 2 machines. Like my first machine was a strap cutter from you guys.
What about a sewing machine?
I didn't buy a sewing machine because I wanted a strap cutter because I didn't want to hand cut with a hand strap cutter. I mean, I understand, yes, that is the most economical way, but I was pumping out full hides and I wanted it just consistent every single time. And I wanted it done in an efficient manner.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to get this AK-20. So I bought an AK-20 and it's still like, I always look at it in the corner. I'm always like, I love that machine because I cut so many different size products or straps and it's never fails me.
Another good item for a strap cutter is fringe, which I should have mentioned. A lot of people make purses and bags and motorcycle gear with fringe. Now, those are a real pain to cut out by hand.
Yes.
You'd have to have a template and you're cutting each one, blah, blah, blah. With the strap cutter, you could set it up to make 1/4 inch fringe, 1/8 inch fringe, 3/8 of an inch, all the way across.
Yep.
It has a reverse button, so if you're sewing fringe onto a purse, you don't want to cut it all the way through.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Just before the end, where you have 1 inch or 2 inch left, you
Yep.
hit the reverse button, it backs it out, and all you have to do is sew that 1 inch onto that bag, and you're all set.
Oh man, it's such a unique machine. I love it. That's just me. And then you were talking about the splitter. That also was a game changer for me because yes, I had this thick harness leather that I was buying, and I needed it reduced for a thinner, much smaller like collar or for like a cat or something. So I would just put it right through the splitter and it boom. So just like Jesse, it changed my workflow and it changed. I was like, well, I'm no longer afraid to buy or need to buy a second hide at a certain thickness because I was like, well, I got this machine and it paid for itself so quick.
That's right.
So
when, when tanneries have specials on 8 to 10 ounce bridle, for example,
yep.
you could stock up on it, take advantage of the price, and then you could always split it to make some other items. So that's what a splitter is good for. It's really advantageous.
Hey, y'all, I want to talk to you about the very first sponsor for the Leathercraft Community Podcast Show, and it is Leather Machine Company. If you are looking to upgrade your workshop or to speed up the process on making items, then look no further than Leather Machine Co. They have various sewing machines of multi-purpose needs, along with leather cutting and splitting machines. Check out their website or give them a call for more information. Now, let's go back to the show. So, David, besides machinery and leather cutting machines and sewing machines, what other things do you guys sell for customers?
We sell a lot of thread. We have 32 different colors. We start in 46 to 69 to 92, 138, 207, 277, 346 in 32 different colors.
Jeez.
We have some 1 pound spools. Most of it is half pound, but some are 1 pound. And if someone asked you to make them a money clip, but they wanted green stitching, you could buy 1 ounce spools for small jobs as well. So Place for thread is us. There's no knots in our thread. It's pre-lubricated. You don't need any silicone. You don't need any lubricant whatsoever. It has 5% lubricant in it. We sell needles of all sizes for all our machines and for our competitors' machines. You should try our thread, folks.
Yeah, for the needles, are they just one brand or do you sell multiple brands?
I sell primarily Schmetz needles,
Yep.
but I do carry organ needles as well. Certain systems and certain cutting points, we like organ better than Schmetz. But for the most part, it's all Schmetz.
Yeah, because I have all three brands. I got Schmetz, Oregon, and then I believe it's I can't pronounce it.
Grossbecker?
Yeah, yeah. I can never pronounce that one for some reason, but I got all three. I've tried them all, but I haven't used them like enough consistently to really be like, hey, I'm going to stick with this one brand. I kind of like intertwine between the three. So I'm
All three of those are name brands. I mean, all three of those make really good needles.
Can you explain the process of like once you receive an order, what's the process of, hey, it's here at Leather Machine Co. And then when it gets to the customer, how do the mechanics build it and put it all together and test it and then ship it out the door?
All right. We have different divisions, so to speak. So let's start with mechanics. When an order is given, it doesn't matter what machine it's for. That machine is run in an oil bath for about an hour. Gets totally broken in, gets totally adjusted, retimed, and rechecked, and then final samples are sewn on the machine. Usually 2 samples per machine, one thinner, one thicker. They're still attached to the machine. So that machine's ready to go. We know which mechanic worked on it because there is his initials on the sample. And if we ever have to talk to the mechanic about a problem, we know who serviced that machine. Then it goes over to our shipping department. So they'll build the drive unit, which is the pedestal stand that you see here, including the tabletop. The sewing machine itself, if it's being shipped to a customer, will be palletized. So the pedestal stand goes on a pallet. The machine rides beside it. Everything is strapped and shrunk to the pallet. All kinds of labels put on it, be careful, fragile, blah, blah, blah. And we ship it out. We normally quote 1 to 2 weeks from the time we receive an order. Almost in all cases, it goes well before then. But we like to be very conservative when a customer orders it. So from ordering a machine until they receive it, depending on the state that they live in, they're probably looking at 10 days to 2 weeks until they actually receive the machine.
That's amazing. Turnaround time, 10 to 12 to 14 days is,
Yeah.
it's unheard of. It's so great. So when people are researching, they are looking at your competitor, they're looking at your machines, and there's all these different names. There's Juki, there's Cowboy, Artisan, there's Leather Machine Co. Why should someone buy a Leather Machine Co. machine and versus against your competitor?
A lot of people ask me that when they call to order a machine or when they're, shopping around. And I start off by telling them, I will never knock my competition.
Gotcha.
Just
It's
not me, even though they will knock me. And they tell people we have plastic parts in our machines and on and on and on, but we don't. So there's 2 main reasons, which I mentioned earlier. One is quality control.
yes.
That machine is in absolutely perfect condition. It's broken in. It is smooth. And as I said, it's checked out by our mechanics and they sign for it when it leaves. We have the best customer support in the industry, second to none, no question about it. We will never let people down on the phone, period. There's no such thing as a silly question. We will answer them all, and we tell people that. Don't be shy when you get your machine. We don't care what the question is, call us. So our customer support is incredible, and we're very well known for that. And that leads into our warranty. Our warranty on our machines are lifetime. We call it a limited lifetime warranty, and what's limited about it is the parts that we warranty. For example, it's non-wearable parts. A needle is a wearable part. You break a needle, we're not replacing it. You wear out a foot, we're not replacing it. You damage your hook or you wear out your hook, we're not replacing it. But if anything goes wrong with your machine that we cannot repair on the phone,
Yep.
we will send that customer a UPS label. We will bring the head back here. We will refurbish the head no matter what's wrong with it, and we will send it back to the customer. The customer does not pay for shipping to us or back to the customer. They do not pay for parts, and they do not pay for labor, and that's for as long as they own the machine, period.
And so what if someone sells their machine and let's say now Johnny Appleseed over here, second owner, owns this Cobra Class 4 sewing machine. Does that warranty still transfer over to them?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes. I mean, our attitude is, we support leather workers, whether they have our machines or not. We get a lot of calls for customer support from competitors' machines, and we help them out.
Yeah.
Because we're really into leather workers.
I've seen some of your competitors' machines here, and they get fixed, and you guys ship them out.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful...
Yeah, we will take care of our customers no matter what. So if they have a non-Cobra machine that they have a problem with, if they get it here, we will refurbish it and we won't charge it for them. We'll just send it back to them.
Wonderful. Wonderful. You know, I love using my machines. It has changed and elevated my my whole business. And I can't tell you how much I enjoy working on them. And, you know, what most people don't know is I approached you one day and I said, hey, can I help you make some videos to help you guys? Because there are so many machines. There's so many questions. I had tons of questions and I was like, I got to call Leather Machine Company. So I'm very happy and I love and enjoy making videos for you and your team. So that way it helps a lot of people all over the place.
Absolutely. Yeah, your videos are incredible. We get complimented on them all the time. And for any of the listeners that want to check out your videos, if they go to our website, leathermachineco.com, and at the top, they'll see a bar of a bunch of names of, machinery and so on and so forth, videos. When they get to videos, if they hover their mouse over videos, there'll be a drop-down menu, and on the left-hand side, it'll say Steve Van Plu Videos, and all your videos classified by machine are right under there. Click on it. Cobra Class 4, there's probably 7 or 8 or 9 different videos. They're all quite short, so you don't lose your attention span. They're precise. The videography is incredible, and of course, the voiceover is incredible. They're great.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It is a labor of love doing each one of those. And then I learn about the machine. I answer so many I get so many questions, and it's like, hey, this is the video that answers that. Here you go. And so on and so forth. So, hey everyone, I want to introduce you to the show's second sponsor, and that is Leathercrafters Journal magazine. They are based out of Rhinelander, Wisconsin. They publish 6 magazines per year covering a large variety of topics such as how to do projects, event details, where to buy tools, and even a classified section. There is so much to see and read from cover to cover. Head on over to their website and sign up for a subscription so you can stay up to date on all things Leathercraft. Well, hey, Dave, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you, where do you see Leather Machine Company in 5 years' time?
Wow. I see Leather Machine Company 5 years from now increasing our market share,
Yep.
introducing new machinery, and just growing from there. I mean, we want to be the supplier of industrial machinery for leather workers, period.
Awesome. Yep. And then if somebody wants to contact you guys, what's the best way that they can contact you or take a look at your machines?
Well, they could always come to our office, which is at 2141 East Philadelphia Street, Ontario, California. And if you want to call, we can give you directions. They can go to any of the shows. Would you like me to name some of the shows?
Yeah, please do.
All right. We do a show in Amarillo, Texas in November. We do a show in Pendleton, Oregon in November. We do Prescott, Arizona in late February or the first couple of days of March, depending. We do Sheridan in May. We do Waco in August, Heart of Texas show it's called. In early October, we do Wichita Falls. And then the rest of our shows are in November, which
Gotcha.
I mentioned going out.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only been to a couple of the trade shows. I intend on going to more of them. I think the next one for me is going to be Pendleton. So
It's a great show. It's
Yeah.
a great show. They've done, it's run by people who own Burn Saddlery. They've done a great job with it. It has grown tremendously. If anybody gets an opportunity, if anyone who's listening gets an opportunity to go to a trade show, you should. Besides playing with our machines, you can play with our competitors' machines. You can buy great leather at great prices. There's really heavily discounted pricing going on. There's hardware. There's tools, of course, Barry King, Bob Beard, Wayne Jeske, on, Clay. I mean, everybody is there.
Yep. I had to make sure I had to keep, I was like, oh, I'm not going to take my wallet out because you can spend some serious cash at these shows.
Yeah, you
Like,
can.
man, there's the tools, the leather. It's just like, oh my God. So I was like, you have to really just kind of calm yourself and be like, hey, let me just take a look at everything first before
You got to have a budget. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Because, and again, there's so many people at like the Barry King booth. It's just like,
Line up from
oh my
beginning
God.
to end.
Yeah. And so you're like, let me come back to that after lunch or something,
Right.
where I can actually like stand and it's a good time to see and test your machines at those trade shows.
There's another thing at the trade shows that are really valuable, and that is the classes.
You're right, because there are some classes where your machines are involved.
Yeah, we supply the machines for the classes, which is not why I'm mentioning it. But why I am mentioning it is because there's classes for everything to do with leatherworking, tooling, dyeing, antiquing,
Yep.
classes on burnishing. It goes on and on. Saddle making classes, purse making classes, backpack classes. It goes on and on. Dice mugs or dice cups, I should say.
Yep.
Those classes are all run by experts. The instructors are the professionals. They're the experts, and they love to share their knowledge in order to keep the trade going.
I love it. Well, David, I want to shake your hand and say thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. And stay tuned, you guys, for another episode next week. It is a surprise guest. And thank you for watching. Take care and good luck on your future projects.